welcome back to Journey, episode number 2. We are in the Great Desert, and I really like this area for this. Yes! And if you have a long ribbon, you can fly to the top of the next one and skate right back down again. Or you could just float down, if you're not going to even touch the ground like I just did. I'm going to keep saying it, this game is friggin' beautiful.
It is really gorgeous.
And really satisfying to play. Like, it just feels good to play this game.
It's a nice break from the rage-inducing genre of gaming that you've been playing lately.
That's true. I've been playing a lot of Dark Souls, and Destiny in its current state is pretty difficult at times.
I wouldn't say difficult so much as...
It's got some cheap tactics lately.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say they're unfair, they're just really, really cheap. They kind of take things away from you at times, but... Now, I believe, if I can remember correctly, there are three runes that can lengthen my scarf in the desert, so I'll try to grab all of them for you guys. There is also a reference to another piece in this, another game made by That Game Company. So I actually misspoke in the last episode. I just thought of that. This game was made by That Game Company and published by Studio Santa Monica. Still, both studios are awesome, and That Game Company is actually working on another game that has something to do with clouds and rain. So I'm really interested to see what that's about, but I know no details, so I can't even pretend to understand what they're working on.
Weather Channel Simulator 2018.
That is not in their line of games. They've made games like this. They made Flow for the PSP, and the PS4 has a version of Flow, which is pretty fun. They also made Flower, which is another beautiful game.
I really like Flower.
Flower is really hard on the PS4 though, because it only has motion controls. So Flower's much better on the mobile that it was designed for.
How great would that Weather Channel game though be? You just play and you predict the weather, and then when you're wrong, nothing happens.
Here's the reference to Flower, by the way.
Oh, pretty.
Yeah.
It's all sparkly.
There is an achievement for finding that.
Are you sure it's not a reference to Rapunzel?
It's a reference.
The new Tangled movie has like a single glowing flower because it was sparkling and yellow.
It's a reference to Flower, because that's the achievement you get for it. So,
I like that solution.
See the ribbon creatures here? You can ping them, and then they'll give you a ride. These ones don't want to play. There we go. So as long as they're in close proximity, you'll stay in the air, which I think is pretty awesome.
So is this like a float game or a fly game? Because it looks like sometimes you can launch yourself upwards.
So, yeah, you can go straight up.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all based on how many runes you have on your scarf still.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So what was that you just activated? Sorry.
Another little lore tablet. I mean, it's just showing multiple travelers at a time.
Cool.
And sorry if the camera whips around sometimes. I forget that there's no way to shut off the motion controls, so tipping my controller rotates the camera like this. And I have very jittery hands, so sometimes I just flip the controller over and the screen just kind of jerks to the side.
Occasionally I'll catch him playing video games completely upside down.
It's only happened on a few occasions. Usually it's alcohol induced.
No, it was like the middle of the day. You hadn't had any alcohol. I just walked in, found you and Luna on the couch. I found you and Luna on the couch. Luna stretched out on one half. You stretched out on the other, just completely upside down playing your video game.
Hey, I was comfortable.
So was she.
I was channeling my inner cat. Which is, I don't have an inner cat. So here it shows the travelers riding on the ribbon creatures right here. So there's yeah, it's pretty cool. Now I gotta remember there is another relic over. Might be easier to find if I find the peak.
Well, here's a good game comparison. This one versus No Man's Sky. They're similar in terms of them just being about exploration, not like fighting. And although this one's more simplistic, I think the other one has a similar like stylizing, yeah. Between the two games, which art style is better? Exclusively art style.
I think this one's prettier simply for the fact it doesn't have to future render. It doesn't have any proceduralness to it. It's all created by hand, which that will always make a game look better if you're doing it by hand versus letting a computer do it. No Man's Sky also gets a bad rap because it has bugs. I mean, there's issues where things don't render properly or textures cut into each other, and not much you can do about it.
Yep. Which game is more fun to play?
I mean, I like them both. It's hard to say. This one is really fun as far as like what you get in the box. You know, like once you finish it, it's finished, but you can play it again. And you frequently will want to, because it's just such a like good game.
But No Man's Sky doesn't really have an end.
No Man's Sky doesn't really have an end. So No Man's Sky, I would kind of put it in a genre of like grindy games, not in a negative connotation that grinding usually has, but you do a lot of I need this much of this element to progress this part of my thing. Oh, you see that right there? That is another player who just finished the game. And somebody who finished it with him.
Oh, cool.
So
they're now comets, and they're gonna go kill the thing?
No, they woke this area up for me so I could do this.
Interesting.
I mean, I could have got up there without that, but it's really cool to see another player trigger it for me by finishing the story.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. I've only seen that one other time, so that was actually pretty special. So now we do one of my favorite downhill skates. Into the Lost City, or the City in the Sand. It's just really fun to skate down the big hills like that. So now these little ribbon guys will help me ascend if I ping them. See? They carry you right up to the next level, which is really cool. So that's another thing. Our little ping abilities, like revitalize and heal these ribbon creatures. And you notice that these guys specifically have a ping of their own. You can see them pip every once in a while. They do like a little pulse. But our ping ability heals them, and if you're close to another player and you ping, and they have a red scarf, obviously, you can regenerate their runes for them. So you can actually charge each other's runes up by pinging next to each other. And you'll see a little bit later, like you said, there's snow. When you're in the snow and it gets really cold, your runes will actually deteriorate on their own, just over time, from the cold. And if you stand close to another traveler, it'll stop that.
Oh, neat.
So, like, cuddling for warmth type thing, which I think is really just a really cool little mechanic.
Especially for a game as simplistic as this.
Yeah, exactly.
You wouldn't expect something like that.
Yeah, so here's another little rune hidden back here. Now, I don't know the story behind these buildings, but you saw those like blue lights and stuff inside them. I believe those are creating the machines, which were created for good and then kind of didn't stay that way, as far as I understand it. You'll see more of them later.
There's conflict in this?
Yeah. You don't remember the machines?
Nope.
Oh, it has been a while, huh?
Yeah.
So we're gonna gain Enlighten it. I think we'll go through the next zone as well, and then we'll call it an episode.
Cool.
So, a little cutscene here where we gain Enlighten.
Yeah, I'll just keep you on track for your time, no worries.
Here, my timer.
Yep. I have a college degree.
Another Elder
I'm
Spirit.
a timer.
So we connected the light bridge through the city in the sand. And that brings us to the next place. Which I don't actually remember what comes after the city in the sand. It's been a while.
That's okay. You can discover it when it happens.
Yeah. Also, another thing, it's very uncommon to meet another player in the Great Desert.
Why's that?
Because most people replaying the game don't go there.
Oh.
And most people at this point who do play this game aren't new. There's very few new players.
What, because this game is like 5 years old?
It's older than that even.
Really?
It came out on the PS3 originally.
How old is the PS4?
I don't know, but it's old. Ooh, the skating section. This area is fun. This one's fast.
Wow, it's so shiny.
Oh, yes. This whole section is about skating. There's only a few places in this area where you can stop skating.
You can go out those jumps. Or is
So,
that not how this plays?
There's a
Achievement?
an achievement for going through those archways.
You missed it.
No, I got it.
Oh, okay. Now it's lighting up.
Yep. So to get all of those in this section, you just have to touch them,
Oh,
or be near them, because you can't stop.
Yeah.
But this is one of my favorite sections. So I think there's actually 2 skating sections. There's this. We burst off into this area, and anybody who hasn't played or hasn't got all the runes, be careful not to fall all the way to the ground, because there's another rune way up here with you. You can get back up to it, but it's easier if you can grab it while you're already up here. And then to get to the next section, we have to free the ribbon creatures. Which just means, once again, lighten up these ribbons. I love the edge of light that you create. Like, it looks so cool. You can also ping to light them up. And here's another little relic. A little bit of lore info. So, I don't know what it means, but it's pretty. That's all I know. That's what I do know.
Thank you for your expert commentary.
Yeah, I know, right? Pretty great stuff.
So great.
I mean, it's up to interpretation, so it could mean whatever you want it to, honestly. So we lit up all of the ribbon creatures, and they're gonna go wake up their friends, which is probably one of the most awesome ribbon creature moments. Look at them all! And then you wake them up with your ping, and you fly with them. And they bring you up. All the way up.
Wow.
Wow, I went all the way up. I've never been up that high.
Land on the thingy. Oh,
It wouldn't let me go forward any further.
dang it.
And this is another skating section.
Sweet.
What do you think? Should I skate now, or should we make them wait?
How long is the skating?
This is the long one. Long
Okay.
skating section.
Save it.
Save it? Alright. Then we shall return in episode 3 for the next section of our journey. Make sure to like that subscribe smash button, and we'll see you all next time.
Bye.